What's going on, my trainer club? Today we're going to look at the top 5 features that are needed in Pokemon Go to make sure that it is going to be a better game, more efficient for you guys, to make you guys have more fun. So welcome to the trainer club. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think is one of the top features needed in Pokemon Go that's going to make your gameplay and experience playing Pokemon Go that much better? Because today what we're going to look at are my top 5 features, and I'm also going to give you guys some honorable mentions. So I just wanted to give a big shout out to all of my Patreons in the alumni chat that were able to come up with some awesome contributions to this. So big shout out to everybody in there. Really appreciate everybody that participates in those groups. We have a ton of fun raiding all around the globe at all points in time during the day. So now, without further ado, let's get into my top 5 features that I think would make Pokemon Go so much more fun, which I think would be pretty easy to implement, that can come out really fast and make us have easier time playing Pokemon Go. So let's get into it right now, starting off with number 1. The number 1 feature that I think is going to be the most impactful is going to be massed gift sending. I just really think that there is no reason for us not to have mass gift sending. Granted, we still have the option of sending gifts on a one-by-one basis. We can then implement stickers if we want to do that to our buddies, if it's somebody's birthday or somebody that you care about, or if somebody from international that you also want to include that for. Totally get that feature. I think it's pretty cool. It obviously grew on me a little bit from when it first came out. It was like laughable, but now it's like, oh, it's kind of cute and fun. So that's one thing that I do think is cool. But at the same time, you have another set of people that are into more of the hardcore playing. And a spin-off of this one I'm going to put in there is going to be having a feature enabled in the setting which allows you to skip over different animations, such as beating the Team Go Rocket grunts or the leaders. It takes a long time for us to get all the way through, right? It goes at a slower pace than does something else. So that would be a really cool thing to have in the settings, a hardcore gamer mode where you can turn off all of these little extra kind of cool things that, you know, Pokemon's known for, but would allow us, such as myself, and other people who want this feature and don't want to see all the animations, that we can just blow through them all and we can play Pokemon Go hard in the variation and variety that we do prefer the most. So I think that would be fair, because then it gives people the option to experience all that stuff, and it gives people such as myself the option to be able to fit this game more toward my type of gameplay, and I feel fulfilled and that person feel fulfilled as well, which is really cool. Which, all that said, I think that feature with the mass gift sending, which is the primary focus here, would make this a really feasible option. It's already in Harry Potter. Why not just have it in Pokemon Go? We can go through, select 20 friends, boom, send out your gifts, save a ton of time. So with all that said, now let's get into the number 2. The number 2 feature, which came about from yesterday when I was doing my Marowak vlog, was a ready option to go into private raids. So the feature would be, you go into a private raid, you have a raid ready button. So once you have all your players in there that you have remote raided or have joined locally, you can then click start raid. Instead of having to wait for everybody to get in, and then that 120 seconds is always there at all times. Like for yesterday, I got to Iowa, I had an hour. I could have done probably 5 to 10 more gyms, which if you think about it, in the end run would make Pokemon Go more money. If I was just able to get my people in the gyms, click ready, we go in, maybe it took us 30 seconds for all of us to get in, I'm saving 90 seconds every single raid, which doesn't sound like a lot, but over an entire hour span when there's raids on every single gym or on the raid hours, it's really gonna save a lot of time and help us do a whole lot more raids. Also, I think it's about time that we increase the raid lobbies, because when we are doing raid hour, there's a lot of people, right? Why limit it to 20 people? Why not expand it to have 30 people per lobby? It would make the raids more efficient. We could beat the raid bosses faster. And I do obviously see the factor that, you know, then it's making the raid bosses too easy, but at the same time, why not just let us get through it really fast and be more efficient in the process if there are that many people playing? And then in the same facet, there's 2 options in here that have to deal with remote raid passes. So obviously we're capped at 5 remote raid passes, but you can't buy 2 boxes at the same time. What you have to do is, if you're buying groups of 3, you buy 3, you use one, then you go and buy another one. And with that system, at some point or another, it starts to get a little bit confusing. You start to lose track when you're in a heavy, dense raid scenario. And then you can get to a place where it's like, boom, you click, and it's like, okay, well, now what do I do? This other option would be a failsafe where when you click that button and it said you're out of raid passes, would you like to buy more raid passes? Why is there not a simple button that says, do you want to buy a single remote raid pass or a pack of 3 remote raid passes? Once again, a very easy feature to make Niantic more money and take a lot of stress off of me and other players that when we're in a very high time crunch scenario, we don't have to miss that raid because we have to go out, then we have to buy more stuff, then we have to come back in and the raid has already expired. And the final feature, as I have talked about this before, having a daily pass needs to be used not only for an in-person raid, but also a remote raid because not everybody can get to raids at all points in time. People may live in a remote area, and if they had that free daily remote raid pass and they weren't able to spend money on the game, they could use that universal daily free pass to either do it in person or do it remote, and you could choose. It's not really that big of a difference, I don't think. Maybe there's something different in the code, but I do think that's a really fair option for everybody playing Pokemon Go, which is then gonna lead us on to the third. The third thing that I think would really make Pokemon Go great is going to be the bottle cap option theory. So this is going to be the ability to rank up IV points of your Pokemon. So I have proposed a list of things that I think would be relatively fair for each of the scenarios. Number one, you'd have to get that Pokemon to best buddies. So initially you have a time investment with that Pokemon, then would qualify it to have the ability to rank up IVs. However, I do think there should be a max capacity of IVs capable for that Pokemon to be able to rank up, such as 2 IV points or 3 IV points would be totally fair because honestly, like you have to put in work to get this Pokemon's IV up. So once you get that Pokemon to best buddy, if you want to rank up the attack stat, you would do 500 battles. That includes gym battles, Go Battle League battles, raid battles with that Pokemon. Every single time you battle with that Pokemon, and it could even have to be your buddy at the time, you would get 1 battle count towards getting to 500. Once you get to 500, you're able to rank up an IV point of that Pokemon. I think that's pretty fair. Number 2, we have defense. So defense would be gym hours defended in a gym. So originally I put 500 here, but then I realized maybe 500 is too much. 250 or 500, I think both are pretty fair options. You have that Pokemon as your buddy, or it has ranked up to best buddies, and you drop it in the gym. Dropping it in the gym would accumulate the amount of gym hours defended on that Pokemon. Once it got to that benchmark number, it would be able to then rank up an IV point. And then finally, stamina. I think stamina, a good way for us to be able to rank up the stamina of a Pokemon is feeding that Pokemon berries. So we could feed it either as a buddy for ranking it up to best buddies every time you go in and get the snapshot, or the other option would be to put it in a gym and feed it. In the gym, you can feed it 10 berries every 30 minutes. So getting to 500 berries fed to that Pokemon would then allow you to rank up the stamina of that Pokemon. So then each of those different scenarios, you'd be able to participate and rank up the IV points for a grand total. I don't think it should go beyond 3. Like each Pokemon max capacity to rank up IV stats would be a total of 3 points maximum. Whether you choose to use the attack, the defense, or stamina is totally up to you, which is then going to lead us into the fourth. The fourth option I think would be really beneficial, especially with the times right now. We've already seen the remote rating come out, would be remote trading. So I totally get that maybe at some point mass remote trading is not going to be an option. I'm not really lobbying for that. I'm more lobbying for 1 special trade per day, or if we're even going even scarcer, just lucky trades to be remote. Because oftentimes, especially with how global Pokemon Go is, and originally, I would make friends in Australia, in Japan, and I wouldn't even know these people. I would just find them online. I would get them on my friends list. And then at some point we went lucky friends. I don't know this person. I don't know how to contact this person. I don't remember where I found that person, obviously, until I started my Discord. Now we have Patreons. We have private groups for people to have that purpose so that you have that person's information. You converse and raid with them on a daily basis. So whenever you do go, if you're traveling and you know where that person is, you can coordinate that, right? That's a really good beneficial place of being in private, exclusive, remote raids. If you guys want to check out information, you can check it out in the pinned comments of this video. But being able to do 1 lucky trade remotely, I think is fantastic. It would help us get better Pokemon. Obviously, there's less incentive to meet people, but at the same time, you have to kind of vary that, like how possible is it? Like, am I really gonna travel across the country just to do a lucky trade? Fortunately here, I'm in Nebraska right now. I knew that James went to school here, so I stopped and did a lucky trade with James, which is a cool thing, and that would still happen, but at the same time, I could have just lucky traded him, and we maybe have hit lucky 2 or 3 more times before I even got to this place. And then 2 other things that fall in line with trading is going to be number 1, mass line trading. What I mean by that is you can select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or however many Pokemon there is. Let's just say a bulk of 10. You go through the IVs, you check them all, and then the IV points show up as the other person is trading. So then you can line up all the Pokemon that you want to trade with them. Once they're all lined up, you can both confirm. Obviously, there's a little bit more logistics involved, but for mass trading, such as like all the Charmanders from Com Days, right? Granted, I wouldn't be trading like rare Pokemon or special trades like this, but for mass trading just to get through and maybe get some lucky Pokemon, and then they all just maybe like spin around in a barrel and flip and pop up, and then you get to go through and see what all the IVs are. I think that would be a pretty cool feature. And then another feature that I think would be really cool is 2 special trades per day, because honestly, if you raid more than, you know, just the common 1 free pass a day, which I think most of us here do, especially on my channel, you guys are going through a lot of raid bosses, and then we're counting on just transferring them and going through that, right? So having 2 special trades per day would help speed that process up to be able to get rid of those Pokemon, which is then going to lead us into our feature number 5. And then feature number 5 is going to be mass transferring legendaries and mythicals, because we do raid quite often, right? And if you guys are here, obviously you guys are into Pokemon Go, you're probably looking to maximize your gameplay, you're probably playing a little bit harder than most people play, so you want to be able to get rid of a lot of these legendaries that you do have in the bag, which would be really cool. So 2 options would be either a double pop-up that says, are you sure you want to transfer this? Are you double sure? Are you triple sure? Yes. Or there could be an option in your settings menu that allows you to transfer with the double confirmation any mythicals, shinies, and legendaries. I think that would be fantastic. It would speed up spotlight hours and really make our gameplay sped up. So with all those top 5 features, those are my top 5s. I'm gonna put on some honorable mentions that a lot of them did come from my Discord as well as James as well. So a big shout out to everybody in there. We're gonna go with number 1. Number 1 is gonna be an increase in the friends list size. So honestly, 200 friends is a lot, but if they use my feature number 1 where you could mass send gifts, then having more friends wouldn't be that big of a deal, because really the tedious part is sending all the gifts to each and every one of those friends on a 1-by-1 basis. So if they implemented my top feature number 1, then this feature would make a total more sense and would be really easily accepted by the community. I totally think we need to have a gold gym medal, because if you guys didn't know this, you can have up to 1,000 gym medals in your inventory. The oldest ones fall out, and the newest ones are going to be stacking on top. So it's like this continuous cycle like this. So if you don't interact with one of those Pokemon gyms and you have 1,000 new ones, that one's not going to be in your inventory. So if you go to look at all your gold gyms, you're not going to have an accurate count of all the gold gyms. And if you did have a gold gym that then disappeared or is not a gym anymore, that's never going to come back, so you'll never be able to know what gold gym it is. So having a medal that tells you how many gold gyms that you do have, I think would be really beneficial and would really help a lot of those people that are really gung-ho about gold gyms. And then another feature would be to increase the bag storage significantly, number 1, or 2, have unlimited. At this point in time, I could totally get why unlimited may not make sense. Honestly, for our purposes, having unlimited storage would just make us lazy, so I get that. But maybe having more, especially when it comes to items when you raid hard, it's like you have 1,000 rare candy, new generations aren't out. What am I gonna do with this rare candy? Do I keep dumping it into the Pokemon that I already have too much candy of? And then having a larger gift inventory. Obviously we went from 10 gifts to 20 gifts, but why not have 50 gifts? Being able to mass send our gifts, increase our friends list, would increase our reach, increase the people that we'd be able to interact with, and it wouldn't have to be so hardcore of like, for me right now, like I am so stocked on friends. And then also, I think an offline mode to manage your inventory and anything like that would be really beneficial, such as traveling on an airplane when you don't have a GPS. You could put your phone into offline mode, you could go through, you could delete Pokemon, you could manage your friends list, you could manage your nicknames, you could do everything you can do except play Pokemon Go as interact with the map. So then you'd be able to do that, and then you save it, and then once the phone goes back into an online mode or goes into the cell signal or whatever that is, then it would just push all the updates that you have done and it would change that. I really found that traveling on an airplane when I didn't have any cell service and I wasn't able to play, that it would have been a really good feature for me to go through and manage my Pokemon Go inventory on the plane when I didn't have anything else to do and I was done editing my videos. And the last two honorable mentions that I think are pretty cool is going to be a tally mark that says, hey, I'm at this gym right now and I'm ready to raid. Instead of just going into the raid and then backing out, going into the raid and backing out, there could be a little box in the corner that says, hey, there's one person sitting at this gym right now that's able to raid. Or maybe you get into the vicinity of that gym, and by being in the vicinity of that gym, it automatically calculates that, hey, there's Pokemon players in the vicinity of this gym that can raid with you. I think that would be a really cool option. Or maybe you're at your job or out to lunch and you could just go into this gym and say, hey, I'm ready to raid at this gym. So then when all the tallies, maybe 4 or 5 or whatever the benchmark of that is, hits from the tally mark, all those people get a push notification that says, hey, this gym has this many people around this vicinity that are ready to raid. And then the last feature that I would recommend is going to be changing the cosmetics of our avatars in Pokemon Go. Because putting your beard on a trainer, maybe changing the eye shapes, changing the facial structure, the hairstyle, whatever that is, would really help us make our trainers look more like ourselves. Granted, I know that's gonna require a little bit more gameplay, data, and a little bit more of the integration of the coding. However, I think it would be really cool, and it seems like a lot of games have that capability drived in with them anyway, so I don't know how much more it would actually cost, or even if there was maybe like, hey, you need to pay $5 to unlock all these features, I think that's pretty fair. So, now that you've heard all of these, let me know in the comments below which is gonna be the most desired that you guys do want. Drop in the comments and let me know. And if I've missed anything, please use constructive criticism. Do a positive review of something that you do want to see in Pokemon Go. So thank you for all being here. Likers, commenters, subscribers, Patreon members, everybody takes a support, subscription, and participation to the next level. I'm gonna see you guys out on the next video. Peace. I wanna take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and raiding all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.